they chose to, they killed the wrong guy, right? Because this is like the perfect guy. Alex Pretti is the guy you would want to date your daughter.
It is learning that Alex Pretti had a physical encounter with federal agents about a week before he was shot and killed by law enforcement.
We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles.
The guy you would want your son to grow up to be.
When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight.
Well, well, well. What do we have here? It seems like the left's most recent martyr, Alex Pretti, has got some big-time dirt on it because footage has just been unveiled by the BBC. BBC News, of all things. These are some straight-up leftist propagandists as well. Like, make no mistake about that. But they got the scoop. They got to it first. So, of course, they're going to release this information. This guy was an agitator. He was an anti-ICE agitator. He was a rioter. He interfered with operations. And this video proved it. Now, was it from that same day that this incident occurred? No, we already have video footage of this. This is from previously, further proving that this is how this individual operated. This wasn't some clean-cut guy holding up a sign to stop ICE. No, this guy showed up and violently attacked an officer's vehicle and spit. I don't know if he spit on the officer, spit on the vehicle. We're about to find out. Let's get into this. By the way, guys, there's a new feature on YouTube where you can hype videos. So be sure to like the video, hype the video. It helps out a lot. Appreciate you.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of
you hear how like the people are all upset when these dodo brains get arrested, but you see him sitting up here kicking. He kicked the lights, the freaking tail lights out of the freaking vehicle, and they didn't have nothing to say. But then when they get arrested, oh my God, like, please shut the hell up. It's embarrassing.
January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground.
He kicked that joint clean off, too. Like, look, go back. Kick that joint clean off. It's gone.
An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground.
And then resist arrest on top of that.
During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Pretti was wearing.
They need to pepper ball her goofy ass too. All that damn pointing, like pepper ball her ass too.
Was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband. Here, he continues to stand at the scene.
There you go over there. Why is this dude not under arrest? He attacked your vehicle.
On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Pretti, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun. That claim has been contradicted by analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations, which concluded that Pretti was holding a phone, not a gun, when he was pinned to the street.
I don't know if
Shortly after the altercation we filmed here on January 13th, federal agents drove away. Soon after that, we left the scene. Federal.
So this, I think, is this the same guy? All right, so I watched this again a couple times just to make sure that it was him. And this guy is him. So what happened is they got him down, and it looks like they were thinking about arresting him. For whatever reason, they didn't. And now he's dead. So what should have happened is that they should have apprehended and arrested this guy, because he probably would have still been alive. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he would have just kept doing this dumb mess, and then he would end up getting killed anyway. But from the looks of it, they let him go. He's just standing there. So ICE left. Like, you had this big scene. Instead of taking care of this guy, they ended up leaving after he damaged their vehicle. You know, the guy gets away with it. You know, they said that they knew who he was. Maybe they intended to just charge him or something. Maybe they got his information and they're like, okay, we're going to charge you. They never got a chance to do it. And now he's dead. So in my opinion, this is what one of the failures were, is they should have arrested him. If ICE is at fault, I don't know if this ICE, Border Patrol, whoever this was, if they're at fault for anything, is not arresting this moron. If they would have arrested this lunatic, then, I mean, I don't know how much time you're going to get in jail for, you know, kicking a taillight out, but still, he might have been in jail for long enough to not make it to this new protest and getting killed on that day, you know, because everything culminates, right? Like specific circumstances, specific officer, you know, everything aligns, he ends up getting shot. So there's a failure there. Now, in terms of what happened on that day, that is that I would let, I guess, if it goes to some sort of trial, which currently it doesn't look like it will, but if it does, we'll let that be adjudicated in court. Who knows if they'll get a biased jury or judge or not. But I mean, these days we've kind of seen there's always some sort of bias against anything that is any sort of, if there's a monicum of relation to Trump, there's always some sort of judicial bias or biased juries. I mean, it could be anything. Now, as far as this guy's character, this don't look good. Now, I know that you might have a judge who says, well, no, we can't introduce that into evidence. You know, it's not about the person's character. It's about how they behaved on that day. I know that stuff like that happens all the time. So I don't know if that'll be the case this time. Obviously, if somebody gets called in for any type of case as it relates to this guy, if they're on a jury pool, of course, they're going to look into this. So it doesn't matter what, you know, the courtroom says, what the judge says. Of course, they're going to look into this. But at least in terms of the court of public opinion, it don't look good for this guy. And this is effectively just validates what we already knew about this guy, is that he was an agitator, a troublemaker, was consistently putting himself in danger, at risk, consistently. And when you do that, then yes, the find out phase does come. You're effectively effing around. Everything I just described is effing around. And what happens after the getting hurt, the arrest, risk of death, all part of the find out phase. Okay, like you can't do the effing around and avoid the finding out. Like eventually you would think these people will understand. If nothing else, I'm not happy that this person died, but I do think that whenever stuff like this happens, there's something to be learned from it. This person is gone, and a lot of other people out there know, like, hey, maybe if I got a gun and I go into a protest, maybe not a good idea to fight police. Even if you conceal carry or whatever, you go out there, cool, but don't get riled up and attack police cars, interfere when they're trying to arrest somebody, because yeah, they don't know what's going on. There's too many idiots blowing whistles and yelling and all of this stuff. So I already know that no matter what happens, I don't believe that the officer who shot him should be considered in the wrong or at fault, because between all the yelling and all the blowing whistles and all the people involved and all the interference, there's just too much stuff going on for you to know exactly what's happening. So they might say, well, if you don't know what's happening, should you have made the shot? Or is the argument that you need to know exactly everything that's going on before you make the shot? It's going to be a hard argument to make. I don't know exactly what argument they're going to make, but I know in my opinion, in that situation, it could go either way. You could make some shots or you could not make some shots. My understanding is the guy's gun went off. So they heard a gunshot, like when they removed the gun from him, they heard a gunshot because the ICE agent or ICE officer who removed the gun accidentally fired it, and it spooked the other officer. They're thinking this guy's shooting, so then they end up shooting him. In between, again, all of the whistling and yelling and stuff, I don't blame them for getting confused, but these are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm out. Big shout out to my members, Cybernoodle, 655, Bella Scott, and Carpentier John. Could not do it without you.
Legal question is, did the officers who shot Alex Pretti have a reasonable, not necessarily correct, but a reasonable perception that he was presenting as an imminent, unlawful, deadly force threat? And that's presumed to be the case. A prosecutor would have to disprove that proposition beyond any reasonable doubt. So it's a very high burden to overcome that justification. And what evidence did these officers have? Well, the moment Alex Pretti interfered with the arrest of the woman in the white coat, gets shoved by a CBP officer, he makes contact with that officer. The moment he makes contact with that officer, he's just committed a federal felony good for 8 years in a federal penitentiary. That's why they were seeking to make his arrest, because they saw him commit a forcible felony against a fellow officer. Then he's non-compliant with arrest. He's fighting them. Then they discover he has a gun on his person. They take that gun. There's cries of gun, gun, gun. The officers call to each other. He's still non-compliant. They hear a gunshot go off, and Alex Pretti's right hand comes from his waistline with a black object in his hand. That combination of facts is going to get you shot 999 times out of 1,000 by law enforcement, and justifiably so.